in just about 3 seconds, I'll do our little intro, and then we'll just jump into whatever everybody wants to talk about, edit whatever we need.
Wait, let me send one text message to tell them to be quiet.
No problem. Oh no.
I'll be muting on and off because I got the kids in the background.
Yeah, I might have to do that myself, but just in case.
Yeah.
Nice thing about Zoom though, I do that through all my lectures.
Ah, yes.
That's good.
Yeah. I think my science teacher used the crappy version that my school has, and it's just not. It's a community college, so.
Yeah, we did Microsoft Teams first, and you can only see like one person at a time, and my teacher was not having that.
Yeah, no.
Like, I can't see if you guys are paying attention or not, but you know.
There was a.
And then you're like, I'm 30. You're like, I'm paying attention. I want to pass.
Yeah, you can come in.
I'll
just mute whenever the kids are screaming and stuff.
Is that your lady?
Yes.
It's funny. I sent Ivan a TikTok. What was it, yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Probably the biggest TikTok fail ever. I swear to God.
Or was it a win? I feel like it was a win.
Oh no.
It was a Zoom meeting, and I don't know if this is staged or not. And the guy, they were in a meeting, and he went out of his room for a minute, came back with some Kleenex and a bottle of lotion, and if you can tell where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
I can.
He was the host, so they couldn't kick him out, and they kept screaming his name, and he couldn't hear because he thought he turned his audio off or whatever and switched his screen, and
the turmoil on the girls' faces.
Yeah,
it was just
the best was watching all the reactions.
All the dudes were laughing, and all the girls were like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
And then he's like, "Keep going." It's
and they were like, "Call him on his phone. Call him on his phone."
I'm sorry.
Text him. Do something.
That's X-rated. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do our intro if everyone's ready.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm gonna do our intro. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to Radiant Damage Podcast. We are your hosts, Paladin Ashley, Paladin Harley. I'm pretty sure I actually will know where everyone is today. Paladin Harley, Paladin Jake, and Paladin Ivan here. We are just here bringing you our takes on recent geeky news that has just come out. So yeah, is there anything you guys want to start talking about first off? I know that we've got a bunch to catch up on, so.
I just want to say we're that much closer to actually being Voltron with the split screens and the, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yep. Mhm. I think
what
so.
do we need, like one more member?
Yeah.
Yes, and an actual suit, like an actual mech, but just semantics, right? Yeah.
Listen, if you have a mech suit, I'll take one. If you're secretly working on that.
If I have one,
feel free to share the tech.
I'll hit up my kinfolk and see what they've got going on.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We could use some mechs these days.
Yeah.
We've solved a lot of problems.
It's true. Honestly, yeah.
30 years, we might have them. Might have to have them.
As
few problems could not be solved by mechs. So let's go ahead and start with Wonder Woman. So we were just talking about that a second ago, how excited we are. Easy, topic to talk about because we're pretty much just excited about it. I am happy that we have a release now, a new release, since it was moved to October. Are there theaters opening, by the way, around where you guys are right now? Okay.
I haven't seen any myself. I haven't left, but they were supposed to open a bunch out here, I think.
Last I saw, AMC's around here were considering reopening. I don't know if they actually are or not.
Right. Yeah.
Might have changed in the last week or so, though.
Brendan said that they are opening his up at the end of this month. So in 2 weeks, we should at least see that one. So we'll see probably a couple following suit. with that.
My guess is with the spikes going on in the other states that were lagging behind places like New York and stuff, entertainment is going to have another shift like they did when Blockbuster closed down, and they're going to all have to start jumping more on this video on demand stuff. So it'll get pushed back until they're really not making money off of it, and then they'll switch over. Just like they had to for Redbox and streaming services and everything. I just have a feeling about it.
That's what I'm afraid of. I know. That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah. Yeah. Sucks. I hope that we can eventually put our butts back in those movie theater seats, because that's way more interesting than watching it at home. I really want that surround sound. Maybe I need to invest. Like, maybe everyone's going to just be doing that next. It's just investing in their own home theater systems, you know?
I mean, sometimes I don't mind watching it at home, like, but some movies you gotta see in theaters. Like, I want to see Tenet in theaters. That's just a movie I do not want to just watch on my TV the first time. So
I know next to nothing about it. I've seen previews and I don't fully know.
Nobody really does. I think that's on purpose. They're just. I think that's on purpose. They're just like, here it is. Looks cool.
Which is good, because Inception was like a mindfuck. So I'm hoping this is gonna be along that same lines.
Yeah. Your mind is ready for it.
Yeah.
Ready to be
Nolan really likes his brain farts. Like, it was like his water cooler movies. He's like, what's it about? We don't know.
Oh my god!
But it was cool.
Yeah, that method. I've seen it fail miserably though with like movie 43. So like, if you don't want to go too mysterious.
Well, movie 43 is no Christopher Nolan movie.
Exactly.
I don't even know if they were reaching for those heights. So
how would it have gone differently had Christopher Nolan helmed that movie? I wonder if he could have even salvaged it.
Yeah, I would say it would be less confusing, but I don't think that's really true.
Yeah.
If it was Christopher Nolan.
So is this actually true? Because I thought that it had been confirmed to be that the Miles Morales Spider-Man game is actually a new game, but it's I'm seeing here that it was actually an expanded remaster. Is that confirmed? Do we look into that further?
I'm not entirely sure. They said it was a standalone. It wasn't a sequel. It's still going to be a Spider-Man sequel. It's just that, spoiler alert, he was bitten in that game. And there's two after credit scenes in the game. And one of them, he was showing Peter that he like jumped on the ceiling, and then Peter jumped on the ceiling too.
He reveals to Peter he has climbing powers.
Part of the DLC, as you're swinging around, every so often Miles will call you and say, "Hey, can we start training?" And Peter's like, "No, you got to focus on school and all that." And Miles is like, "Yeah, I was practicing jumping off buildings and stuff." And yeah, so I mean, I imagine it's gonna be a couple years into the future from it.
Cool.
Sounds like it. He looks a little bit older than he did. I think only like 15 in the Spider-Man game, so he'll be a couple years older in the sequel likely. So it'll be his own thing.
Even if it is a remaster, most like Spider-Man story and Spider-Women story are fairly similar. So even if they just remastered that, it would be like a completely new game if it's a different character.
Yeah,
and he has certain skills that Peter doesn't. Like he has the venom blast and
stuff. Yeah.
Can he go invisible? I think.
Well,
is that one of
the trailer where he's like in Vizzo's like X-ray screen? He's jumping. He does like the slash.
Yeah, so he has different skill set like the other spiders do. Like I was talking to Ivan about Silk the other day, and Silk can like shoot your webs. Hers are organic and shoot from her fingers. So I mean, they have their own uniqueness about them, so it can be different enough instead of like just it looks like just another skin you can get in the Spider-Man game. So it should be different.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a gimmick now.
Everybody gets one. So I was wondering if you guys wanted to talk about, since we're already kind of in this subject, in this frame of mind, like if you wanted to talk about the PS5, kind of releases that were showcased just, what was it, 2 days ago, a day ago? I don't even know.
Couple days, yeah. It's been a couple
Yeah,
days.
so. Yeah, did you guys want to like go over that? I know Harley has some very strong opinions about
No.
the design.
Strong feelings. I just think it's a weird design. It's like the anti-game console design. It's like, no, you're not gonna have a game console. You're gonna have a MacBook or a router. It looks like a router.
It looks like it's stripping, which I think is pretty funny. Yeah, it looks like it's stripping, like it's unzipping.
And apparently, it looks even worse if it's moved to the side. It's like, oh.
Really?
It's certainly been memed quite a few times. So
yeah,
I've enjoyed. Like there was one where they had they had Seto Kaiba's head on top of it because it looks like his outfit. There was one where it was sitting on top of Doug Dimmadone's hat because his hat is super long. There was one for like Cell as well from Direct DBZ. There's a bunch, so it's been memed quite a lot. I mean, it's not the greatest design. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'll get used to it.
It's just easily mockable design.
I'm more interested in the release.
Where do you guys think we're eventually going to go? Do you think eventually we're all going to have like robotic women to play our games on? Because it seems like they're trying to make them sleeker and sexier. Eventually we're just going to have chobits, I don't know if anyone understands that reference. But we're just going to have like robo women to like put our games in or whatever.
Don't say that. I'm pretty sure that already exists in just a different
I'm pretty sure there's already people working on that, but
if it doesn't, I probably just spoken into the ether. And I'm sorry.
Working on or in?
Oh God.
Yeah, never mind. Let's move.
Oh no. Oh Lord. So yeah, that's probably where we're gonna end up, you guys. I don't know if everyone's
motion. How do I turn my console on? It was like, what?
Oh no. That answer is also in Chobits. So yikes. They didn't even try to like hide what they were going with that. But yeah. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting design. I think that I don't know which I prefer because all of the consoles so far are looking really weird.
I'm just more interested in the games than the design. I'll get used to the design. It's whatever. But I mean, I doubt I'll get a PS5 anytime soon. As long as I can play the games on a PS4, it should be fine. So, I mean, I know they.
I'm excited. Sorry.
Everything's so expensive now too. Like, there's no point, very few people who game and used to collect all the gaming systems back in the day will be able to afford both of those right out the gate.
Oh my God, no way. That's what's stopping me from getting a PS5, to be honest, because I already know, isn't it supposed to be $500 or $600?
Well,
it's probably base model.
I don't think they're gonna do that this time because I remember, what was it? It was like it was over $500 the last time, and Sony took a lot of shit for that one. So I was like, I don't know if they're gonna do that again.
They actually. Yeah, I heard that they actually take a loss with whatever they price their console at. They're always prepared to take a loss because they make it back up with the games that they sell. They don't actually expect to make a huge profit with the consoles, is what I've heard. That could be entirely true in some cases and entirely false in others. I don't know, but that's what I've heard. So it would explain some, the weirdness that happened with, wasn't it the PS4 that people were just kind of scrapping it and selling its parts off because it was technically worth more than they were selling it for, is what I remembered hearing, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember hearing that. Really?
Was it PS4 or PS3? I don't remember. It was one of those. It was one of their.
I didn't know they did that. That's kind of crazy, actually.
It was like it was forever ago. I mean, but yeah, that was happening. So that's why there was such a mad dash to get them, is because a lot of people wanted to scalp them or sell off their parts, because the consoles are always worth more than they're gonna charge for buying them. So
that's a hell of a hustle.
Yeah.
Hustle game is strong.
Yeah.
Looks like a Sony chop shop, basically.
Oh God, imagine like running one of those.
A Sony chop shop.
Sony job. Good job. So which games, if any, are you guys most excited about? Because I already know the answer. For me personally, since I know I'm not going to get a PS5, I'm not super excited about any of those titles that I won't already be getting with the Series X. So what, if any, really caught y'all's eye in this one?
I think this one goes to Jake and Ivan because I don't own any current consoles, so I just watch
Hartley,
it
no.
at this point.
Yeah.
I'm a spectator gamer now. I'm just like, oh, that game looks cool. I'll find somebody I know that has it. I'll go play it over there.
Yeah, watch Let's Plays of it.
I just watch other people play it. They're much better at it than me. I'm like, I couldn't have made it through the game, so you know.
Okay.
Well, for me, it's Horizon 2, obviously. That was one of my favorite games from a few years ago. So, and they kept teasing the sequel. There was no news. And they were like, yeah, we're going to do a sequel. And then, oh, we're not going to be Aloy. You're going to be somebody else. It might be set in the past. It might be set in the future. Then they dropped the trailer, and it's like, okay.
Psych.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that was Aloy that I saw.
Yeah.
I think we all knew it wasn't going to be. You weren't going to suddenly be in the, medieval times. It's like, no, stick with the same general style they had going.
I mean, if it ain't broke, right? Like, if it's working for them, so.
It's like you build an entire world and you ditch it for another.
I mean, the end of the game set up for a sequel anyway, so there's some stuff there that there's some stuff there they can build on. I mean, it's a little convoluted. It's a lot of heavy sci-fi stuff, but in a nutshell, there was a thing called Project Zero Dawn, which pretty much brought on an extinction, and I don't remember everything about it, but you essentially have to fight a bunch of machines that are hostile and all that, and I don't want to give you any spoilers about Aloy, but she's sort of in the center of it for a very specific reason. And yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers away from that, but she's an archer. That I love archers. I'm like an archer person, so a lot of my favorite characters are archers. So
it's like Jake got like rebooted Tomb Raider and Horizon Zero Dawn around the same time. It's like, my dream come true.
Yeah, I mean,
we got two archers in one.
I can't put her over Laura, but Aloy's great.
Yeah.
Ooh, so Aloy would beat Laura, you think?
Oh, she would drag her through the mud. Aloy would drag her through the mud. Yeah, quite literally. But I mean, I mean, Laura's a survivor and everything, but Aloy was born fighting giant machines and having to survive through all that terrain. She's super just OP, really. So
I don't remember seeing Lara Croft ever fight like a cyber woolly mammoth. So she's definitely got the one up on that one.
I don't recall that either. So I think that sounds like she's got the edge.
Lara Croft fought a lot of weird stuff.
I mean, Lara Croft pretty much beat Nathan Drake in Death Battle.
Dang.
But
that was controversial.
It was. They were upset in the comments, but I mean, I can see why they were upset because of how they had her do it. I was like, he can't be this stupid. But yeah.
Oh boy.
It was an archery contest. Just kidding. That would have definitely been stupid.
So, but he was Aloy.
Death Battle. Jesus, this is like it. They explain the reasons for why this person won, then people are still mad. It's like they're telling you why this happened, and you're still upset that your fave didn't win.
I'm generally mad how they if I get upset at a Death Battle, it's how they depict it. Like I was upset when they did Captain America versus Batman. And he's like, Batman won, but here's the thing.
Seriously?
Here's the thing. It lasted 45 seconds. And Batman obviously threw him up to smoke. And for some strange reason, Cap threw his shield blindly in the middle of the smoke. It's like, he would not do this.
He would never do. Cap's not an idiot, okay? He's actually a really good strategist.
He's not a super genius like Tony Stark, but he's not an idiot. He's a soldier.
Yeah.
He has,
and he's a tactician, so it's not like he would go blindly into a fight regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
I did like it. They kind of I don't know if they fixed it, but they kind of made up for it with Spider-Man beating Batman. It was like, well, you got one right. Well, you got that one right, at least.
Those both.
That's a breeze. That's not even a fair fight.
It's like Batman was basically just trying to fight him off at one point. It's like, you got nothing, bro. You can hide really well. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
frustrating.
but Peter Parker is smarter than Bruce Wayne, so
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, he's Tony's little protege. So.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Peter's Rogues Gallery are smarter than all.
Careful, you make a lot of Fox fans or Sony fans angry by saying that.
Good. Good.
Because God forbid they just do something different and follow in line with the MCU.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can kill that argument with one like Wikipedia page, for fuck's sake. So
God forbid he be a 15-year-old kid and can't do things, but there's a whole scene showing how much he was a noob, but whatever.
Yeah, they go out of their way in every movie to explain how young he is. It's literally the thing they make the stories about, how he's just a kid in the middle of all this chaos trying to figure it out.
I do think it's kind of funny. Like, that reminds me of that moment. What was it in Spider-Man 2 when he was on the subway train? And it's Tobey Maguire and he's like in his 20s and someone takes off his mask, right? He's just a kid, no older than my son. It's like, what?
Bro, he's 40. What are you talking about? That's not a kid.
He's just a kid. It's like, what?
All right, Sam Raimi, you should have. Raimi, don't do that.
New York is weird.
A kid who got held back like 7 times.
Right. Oh, we love you, Toby. don't worry about it, man.
When Flash Thompson looked younger than Peter Parker, there's a problem.
Flash Thompson looked like the janitor in that movie. Let's not kid ourselves. He looked like the custodian who was like cleaning up lockers and picking on children.
We're gonna trigger so many people who are like, this is the best series of super films ever. No, it is really a good movie. Like, all of them are really great. Even 3.
Hey, I'm Team Toby. I'm aware that Tom Holland is the best overall, but I don't get this Toby hate. I don't understand it.
I love them both, but I will say I feel like Tom Holland is better, specifically because if
he's a kid.
He's just a kid.
Yeah, I mean,
he's pretending to be a kid.
Spider-Man is a kid that stands with the Avengers. He's perfect for it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was the right time and the right circumstance for that version of Peter Parker to show up. So weirdly worked out.
Guarantee no one was super angry when it came out.
No. Oh, I was there.
They all loved it. They all loved it until Andrew Garfield came, and suddenly Tobey Maguire was terrible.
Oh my gosh! Wow, isn't that how the opposite of how it normally is too? Normally, if any change happens, in geekdom, people are all up in arms to say that it sucks, right?
Any change.
Yeah, that's still very, very common with everything.
Yeah.
If you change their shoes, people get upset.
It's almost like people don't read comics.
Yeah.
You might be onto something there.
It's
almost like they're judging.
My favorite.
Like people don't actually take in the content they watch.
My favorite is when they like to make these long arguments about why Captain Marvel isn't as strong as she is, and in the same sentence say, "Oh, I don't read her comics." It's like, well,
then how do you know how strong? What are you basing it on exactly? It's such a weird. It's so strange how triggered they all are. No, and I'm not here to defend the movie at all, as though it's the best movie ever. It's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine. Yeah. But it does not suck so many people say that it does. So,
yeah,
oh my gosh, a baby! Hey.
I can see why people wouldn't like it just based on a movie. I get it. I mean, it does kind of feel like a Phase 1 movie. Wasn't perfect. I get it. I mean, I'm a big fan of the character, so I mean,
it It was
I
one
loved it.
retroactively. If they could have done it first, it probably would have worked out.
It could have been. It could have been phase one. It could have maybe
Yeah,
phase two.
it
So
seems like it
so I
seems like a
get it.
movie that would be a finale to phase one, where you find out where the name comes, the Avengers Initiative comes from.
Yeah.
Like,
So I get it on that level, but some of the arguments are just stupid.
Oh, cute. I'm sorry. I'm so
honestly, it's just people just don't like Brie Larson. It's literally
That's
it.
our-
They're
yes.
annoyed by her, and they
Yes.
use it. It filters through the entire movie of them watching.
Which is just a bad argument, because if you read anything from Miss Marvel, like as soon as she showed up, if you don't picture a resting bitch face reading those comics, you're picturing it wrong.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's thank you. Exhibit A. Jake was ready. He was like ready.
I will defend
on that
Carol.
That's
One
amazing.
of the things that I was laughing at the other day, I saw a post that said, like, out of all comic book characters, who do you think has had the most change in, like, appearance or costume? I'm like, all of them.
Every single one.
Yeah. Because most of them have been around since the 50s, and so they've had to adapt with the times. Like, otherwise it all would be like Earth 2, costumes still. Like oh my gosh, Stargirl. I need to ask you guys about that in a second. If y'all have watched it, but those costumes are amazing for different reasons.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet. I've got the episodes banked, but I haven't been able to watch it yet. But I've seen the costume. I've seen clips and little pictures of the costume. I was like, oh, this looks awesome. I was like, I can't wait to start watching this.
The costume is very, very fitting, very updated for the show setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Honestly, speaking of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, it really reminds me of those. Like the way that it's directed and everything, just the overall feel of the show is very, especially because she's in high school, and so it really emphasizes that. It just reminds me so much of that first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. It's really good, honestly.
Well, those first two Spider-Man movies, and to some degree the third one, they all worked for a reason. They're not awful movies. The third one just has problems, but it wasn't that movie's fault. It was everything going into that movie.
I think that one was another one that suffered studio interference. Wasn't that it?
Sam Raimi was forced to put Venom in the movie. Sam Raimi does not like Venom.
Oh,
So
wow.
Literally, the movie was supposed to be about Sandman. That was going to be the entire movie. That was
a
I think he wanted.
Yeah.
That's what ruined Eric Foreman's career there.
Yeah, that was the weirdest. That was one of the weirdest castings ever.
That was very strange. If he would have been able to change his physique a little bit more, I think, between being Eddie and then, you know what I mean? Maybe it would have been
I remember listening to the commentary of the movie, and they actually had a take I agree with. It was because they couldn't do big beefy Eddie Brock, they wanted him to be literally the worst version of Peter Parker. This is who Peter Parker would be if he was just a smug, entitled little prick who who literally has the same job but goes about it the complete opposite way.
Yeah. He's his foil, and I think that's a good approach, but they just maybe the execution, especially because of the Force.
It was a character that Sam Raimi didn't like, so that was the only thing he could think to do with the character. He was like, well, if I make him this, I can try and make it work, because I have to have Venom in the movie, so I have to try something.
That's the thing, though. Of all the characters you could have had Topher Grace fit into, of all of the Spider-Man villains or anything in the comic books, that was not it. It wasn't Venom.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who he would be good as, though, as a Spider-Man villain. I mean, he'd have been fine as a Harry Osborn, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we had James Franco, but
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like, honestly, I liked his portrayal of Eddie Brock. It's just that it was forced, and there was way too much going on, because Sam Raimi was like, okay, but I'm still going to make the movie I want to make, and so it just had too many just too much going on.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, as they said.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
okay. He'll make up for it with Doctor Strange 2 when it's going to be Spider-Man 4. We all know it.
I've not heard that theory.
There will absolutely be a Spider-Man, something in there.
Is Toby going to make an appearance, do you think?
If he doesn't come in and say it's pizza time, I'm going to be very upset.
That's a really high bar, but I think it's warranted. I think that is.
I remember when was it 2014 when they announced Spider-Man came back? And
Yeah.
was it 2014? Yeah.
Or 2012 might have been.
No, because it was like before Age of Ultron. So I think it was like
yeah,
2014.
Right.
And I remember thinking like, man, he would fit in so well in this party scene with Age of Ultron. So actually I think it was after Age of Ultron came out. I was like, Toby would have fit in so well with them right there in this Age of Ultron. It would have been so
even
perfect.
Just Spidey in general, would have been it would be really fun to see that.
I mean, I was like, you guys, he can be an older Spider-Man.
I would actually like to see him. Yeah, I would like to see him play an older, kind of like a Into the Spider-Verse now Peter Parker.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Old veteran who's he's lost a little bit of his mojo, but he's not. He's still got it. But
yeah. Totally.
It's super meta.
So, I think we got I think we were talking about PlayStation a minute ago, and somehow we ended up Sam Raimi. Damn you, Sam Raimi! You always end up in these
Spider-Man transitions.
Spider-Man do everything.
Yeah, we're looking forward to Doctor Strange too.
Yeah. That's what we're looking around too.
Sorry, Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I honestly love Doctor Strange. I think he does such a good job. But obviously, if Spider-Man's going to be in it, which I really haven't heard anything about it, so if Spider-Man's going to be in it, he's going to steal the show. I'm sorry, he will.
If he brings out Tobey Maguire now, I will stand up in the theater and clap. I will do that.
Oh my God!
I will literally stand up and clap.
Please, somebody be in the theater and film that. So we have.
I will absolutely stand up and clap. Yeah.
Yes, hopefully we have our theaters back by then, at the very least. Just for
we'll see how that goes. We got to get there first.
We'll rent out a theater. It'll be empty except for Jake standing for the clap.
We'll send him there so we can film the reaction. There'll be nobody in there anyway. So
I'm gonna play the audio of when he came back in Spider-Man 2 to fight Doc Ock. He's like, "Woo, I'm back." I'm gonna play that as well.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, I remember those feelings when I saw that scene. Oh man. And then of course
I'll be honest, that was one of the best midnight showings of a movie I have ever been to. Everybody was hyped for that movie and that was super that was one of the coolest movies experiences I've had because everybody was so into it. They were like, "We're here for this. Let's go." People were bouncing beach balls before the movie, everything. We were in a good mood. I think there was 2 cosplayers at one point that kind of walked in and hung out and then sat down. We were like, "Oh, we're all here for this."
Now that you've described that amazingness, I remember now why I miss theaters.
I had a great time.
That shit.
That's the one thing I miss about not being able these days to go see midnight showings.
Yes.
This is great because it's all people that want to be here. For the most part.
That reminds me of
some people that are like, "I'm just here to see a movie."
Yes. One of the best parts about seeing the movie Cats in theaters recently was that moment. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. It was such a beautiful moment for humanity when we were all in the theater together, and it was it wasn't a huge theater because it was kind of on its way out because of how terrible it was, right? I'm talking about this year's version. It was probably one of the last movies we saw in theaters, sadly enough, but I just remember it was so funny.
That hurts.
I was going to say, please don't turn off the podcast. Cats is not the end of the podcast.
Cats is amazing.
We already had the Cats episode.
I'm saying this as a representative of this podcast. I endorse Cats.
We endorse the train wreck watching.
We might get an endorsement, guys.
sponsor.
This is the most
Cats,
press they've gotten since.
Cats 2020 needs to sponsor this podcast. Like, it was so good, and we've done so much for them. So anyway, no, but it was beautiful. It was the moment when, like, we all collectively understood through some telepathic link that we were all there to shit all over this movie. It was so beautiful. We all just immediately just started, like, laughing uproariously at the just ridiculousness of this movie. I need to watch it again. It's like
You're hyping yourself up right now.
I know. I want to watch it again because it was so good. Like, it was okay, not good, but like it was so funny.
James Corden needs to get tagged in this podcast.
It was the room. It was basically the room.
Yes, it was.
To bring it back to an earlier subject, like that's one of the things. Like that's the theater experience. Everybody experiences certain movies are like, we gotta go watch this trash pile. Come on. Like,
yes, exactly. It literally was a
fire. We have to watch.
It was so beautiful. Like, just, oh my God, I will forever be haunted by some of those visuals. Just in my waking nightmare. But anyway, so yeah, some of those cats are my sleep paralysis demons. And it's okay. I just accepted that's part of my life now. But yeah, so the theater experience is really important. We missed that. But circling back to, because we've missed so much with our little hiatus because of the world being on fire and just me personally not having motivation to record, what games in general, like including Xbox titles, have really caught y'all's eye, if any, or PC, just anything that's been announced within the last couple months?
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater remakes.
Yes, that is my number one for sure.
Yeah, I don't have
Skater.
PS4, and I'm probably not gonna get PS5. But the games that I'm looking forward to play are mostly remakes. Like the Resident Evil for PS5 look awesome.
Resident Evil 8, yeah, that's so good. Yeah.
And Tomb Raider is always good, so.
Yeah, I just started replaying Tomb Raider. I played for like 8 hours yesterday, and I'm almost done with it. So I'm just playing through that series again. I don't know if they're announcing another one. I haven't heard anything, but yeah. But mostly Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah.
That was like my main. That was like the best thing I heard all quarantine.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I woke up one morning and it's like, oh my God, I did not expect this. Actually, I did. I kind of, sort of did. Because I listened to this or on and off this skateboard podcast, and one of the pro skaters was talking about, he has a song on the next Tony Hawk game. I didn't know that was real. If he was just full of crap, that pro skater is kind of weird. His name is Jason Deal. He's a little different, but so I don't know if he was being serious. I don't know if he was being serious or not. So I was like, whatever. And then it's like a couple weeks later, they just announced it. So
nice. That's awesome. So
that's like my whole childhood right there. So
I was gonna say, like, these remakes.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed the Final Fantasy VII remake. Like I didn't actually play it, but I watched other people play through it, and I'm like, this is great.
Nice.
I don't know what they're doing, but no spoilers, obviously, for the story, but I kind of really like what they did, because I'm like, I don't know how they're going to, what the next one's going to, I mean, you have an idea, but it's like, let's hope they stick the landing, because this is a weird twist they've taken on it. Weird from Final Fantasy, but,
I never really got into Final Fantasy. I think the fighting style of the earlier games was never my thing. It was kind of like that Pokemon style, where it's turn-based. I can deal with that with Pokemon, but I can't do that with like a Final Fantasy. It's like I can't do it.
That's why I actually finished the game when I played the original version back in the day. That's why I had my best friend play it. I was like, I will watch you play, because I cannot do this. I'm bored after like 2 hours. I'm like,
I need to move. Like I need to run around and move. And I just
I was like, you know me. I play fighting games. Let me punch something, please, God.
Dude, one of my favorite Final Fantasy games.
Please, God.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Final Fantasy games was Tactics.
Yeah.
Me too. Well, I played Tactics Advanced.
That needs a remake. And speaking of bored, Oh man, me and my buddy would put in codes and codes on Game Shark just to cheat on the game.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm calling the police.
Right?
Oh,
Oh, man.
yeah, we had Game Sharks back in the day. Those things
Oh
were
my
a
god,
godsend.
yes.
I had a
That's so
level
funny.
100 Blastoise and then Mewtwo
Oh my
and all
god,
that.
right? Everyone used them for Pokemon. Okay,
Yeah.
I
I got my
I
level
used to
100
do
Charizard.
Yeah.
Awesome. Although the downside is like one hit from that Charizard would like kill or like a regular. I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah, you just have
Yeah.
to. Yeah. Oh
Let me
man.
switch to another low level Pokemon. So
On the other hand, as you're like 10 years old, you can just blow right through the Elite Four.
yeah.
Or otherwise, you spend 6 hours trying to do it.
I just realized now I should wear my elf ears sometime for a podcast, say nothing, and just not even.
Just sit there.
Sit there the whole time.
I'm sorry, that just came to me. I'm so sorry. I should really just
Make a podcast.
Oh shit, Ace, it's okay. I'm sorry, my dog. Ace, come here, buddy. He thought he heard a knock at the door. No, sir, there's nobody here. Dude, doesn't that sound like an explosion of dog? Come here, Ace.
I didn't know what it was until
It was my
like,
dog
what?
exploding.
I'm like, huh?
No. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
I actually didn't expect him to have that strong a bark.
Yeah, I have a pit bull, so
I
I'm not used
was
to
like,
that.
that sound like a dog.
No, bye-bye. Yeah, he's a big boy. I'm sorry. He's a big boy. He's trying to be our doorbell. His poor dad's asleep in the next room, so well, not anymore, right? So anyway,
He was
he
asleep.
was asleep. Yeah, it's okay. We really need to fix their doorbell. Too loud.
Well, hey, at least he's on guard. At least if it, he's always on top. He's
He is.
ready to go.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was just a cat like mean mugging him outside. That's what got him triggered. But anyway, no, Bob. Sorry, I'm not editing that out.
No, please,
No,
please
keep it.
don't.
Like,
Please
Yeah,
don't.
I'm
No, keep it.
Everything is content.
yeah.
We,
He
we,
just
don't-
has to do my job.
we're in the experimental podcast phase.
Exactly.
With the
Yeah.
current crisis going on, it's like we got to try something.
His voice deserves to be heard. So yeah. Yes. So anyway, anyone with a small dog is like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I have an
I've never heard
extremely
a dog
tiny dog.
Buddy, no sir. Ace, I'm gonna have to put you in the room. Mister. Mister. Come here, mister. I might have to put him in the room. Come here, buddy. Come here. I might have to put you in there with daddy. Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry.
Break and break.
Sorry, I'm back. Okay. That was my child. Oh, okay. Anyway. It's better.
Zach Morris style.
Totally gonna leave that in too. Whatever. I don't
We're
give any
still
shits
on-
anymore.
There's also a Square Enix game called Project Athia that looked pretty
Yeah,
good.
that was cool.
Oh,
It
that
kind of
looks
looks
so
like
good.
that Unreal Engine
Mm-hmm.
game, which needs to be a actual
Mhm.
game because that looked like the best game I would ever play ever. I
Yeah,
wish it was a real game, that Unreal Engine, but
Ooh.
yeah, it looks pretty good.
That
And
was
then
like Avatar Tomb Raider. I was like, oh, this looks cool. Like, this is a cool world.
Yes,
That's
and
cool.
there's also, what was it, the little devil inside looked pretty cool because it looked like a really it almost looked like a Lego Witcher. Like it's like a really cutesy
Yeah.
version of like the
Yeah.
Witcher.
That would be
Yeah,
a
just
very
talking
dark
about-
Lego game.
yeah, what are you talking about?
It looks like a really dark cutesy game. It's really weird.
There's also that
very
Stray
good.
Cat game, which is
Yes,
I really want to see
I'm hyped for
what
that.
on earth
Obviously,
that is.
I want to be that cat. It's a little cat that's going along. I don't know if you've heard of it, Ivan, but it's it's called Stray, and you get to literally play a stray cat when there's no humans left in the world, and it's all just robots. Wait, honey, I need you to keep him in there. Okay.
He's on lockdown.
So yeah. Oh, he's showing him that there's no one here. He's got to show him that there's no one at the door.
Hey.
Thank you, honey. Sorry, sweetie. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. I'm really excited for that game too, but obviously you guys know what I'm most excited about. We know nothing about it yet, but the next Dragon Age title. And I'm going to show the audience that I'm wearing my video game husband. So yeah, that's where his name's Colin. I have to show that off. I'm the biggest Dragon Age nerd that you'll probably ever meet. Yep.
Yeah, Dragon Age 4
Yeah.
needs to come out, so they haven't. There's no details on it yet, right?
No, the only thing we know is that it is scheduled for the upcoming titles for Xbox. Like, that's on their list. It doesn't say anything else about it. It still doesn't even have like a title. It's just Dragon Age 4, but it's on their list of what they're working on. And I believe that it's slated to release 2021 or 2022. So it's actually coming out sooner than I thought it was, supposedly. So yeah.
Release dates are hardly ever release dates, though.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully it comes out sooner than later.
Yes. Yeah. Here's hoping. So, yep.
It may or may not be the Age of Dragons.
Oh no, you know what? It might not be anymore. Yeah. You know, I definitely hope that there are dragons involved, though.
Well,
Yeah.
One would have hoped, with the name,
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
You got to give me one dragon.
There's a few dragons to fight.
Dragon?
There's a few dragons to fight in Inquisition.
There's plenty in Inquisition. Like, there's literally like what, 12 of them?
If you're like me and take the long way to the mages and everything, you run into a dragon flying around and there's little dragon knights chasing you and everything, and then you die. So oh yeah, there's quite a few dragons to fight.
Oops, whoops. That freaking. Okay, done.
Like, I think if you romance the Iron Bull, I believe, you have to kill a dragon.
Oh, do you really? That actually makes sense because
you have to bring him.
is so into dragons. Yeah. So I
think there's something you get from the dragon to make for him or something like that. So
yes, I believe that. I believe it.
Yeah, so you have to actually fight one. I mean, it's probably easier to fight the one in the hinterlands, which is like the lowest level. So
that was such a pain to fight, though. If you just went straight into it, not knowing that it was there, and accidentally like aggroed it.
That's what I do. Like to get to the mages, that temple, that area, I went the other way around, and it was just flying around, and little tiny ones are crawling around, and you got to just kind of run. So
yeah, that was terrifying. I remember that. So yeah. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, I wanted to talk to you guys before, because I think we're at about 50 minutes, something like that now. So before we just kind of like start winding down, I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about the Flash and what happened, like all of the CW news that we've got on here. So we've got
a lot going on.
Batwoman news. Yes, Batwoman news for, how Kate Kane is probably going to be written off, because of Ruby Rose's accident, and how she's no longer going to be playing Batwoman. So we can talk about that first, because I already mentioned it. And then I also want to get y'all's opinion on Hartley Sawyer being fired from the Flash. After that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the whole mess. Yeah. So, and because it's Pride Month, we should definitely talk about Supergirl. That's Supergirl news. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I don't have any hot takes. It's just another, it's just like, oh man, another actor said something stupid, and now, now got to face the consequences, whether
Yeah.
whether it was a joke or not, or just kind of where we're at now, where it's like this is where we're at. Like people are gonna go through anything you've ever said because everything's online anyway. So somebody will find it.
Yeah.
I'm just,
All the James Gunn, like his literally got brought back up after he had already dealt with it.
I'm just
like
curious
it was
if
already a thing.
Yeah.
And, then
I'm just curious of what prompted it. Like, who did he piss off for them to look back?
Did he tick off some shippers? Did he tick off some right-wing group because he said something that, Lord would say? Like, is he being too woke now? Like, did he express an opinion against Trump? So now we got to dig up his stuff.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Did I miss the Bunkovich transition?
No.
There really is no he just kind of pops up here and there. He just pops out of his bunker occasionally.
Yeah, like an orange zit.
Very true. Oh God. I'm sorry, my nose always itches when I'm recording, and I swear I don't do cocaine. It's just happening. Anyway, so yeah, no, we were just talking about the Flash star Hartley Sawyer being fired because of his tweets that he came out with, and so Harley's going full conspiracy theorist, which it's a very good question.
Well, it's not a conspiracy. Like, this is what happens. Like
yeah.
An actor says something online and like it pisses off some group. Like take a guess who probably he pissed off.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised.
You're outspoken no matter what side you're on of anything. Like some other group is gonna find a way to try and mess with you. So it doesn't matter what stance you take on anything.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think that for sure. I agree. I honestly, for me, my only hot take on this is why, if it's a fireable offense to make offensive tweets or to have made offensive tweets back in the day, years ago, why is it not preventing the hire of an why don't they look that
didn't they do the research the first time? That's always the thing that comes up. It's like, did you not know they did this?
I feel like they will start doing that now.
From now on, that's gonna be
I feel like that's a bunch of shit. Just because, I mean, they don't do that deep of background checks for cops either. Obviously, you can find a bunch of.
We can compare it to a lot of things. Apparently.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But there are companies out there.
Would be more qualified at this point, considering.
Yeah. And then there's companies out there that are, corporate America that will do a deep dive background check on you, where you don't have to have that same background check for other important jobs. Or which is terrible. It makes no sense. And they're finally catching up on doing that and doing it thoroughly. So, hey, more jobs out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's very weird to me. What he tweeted was really kind of inexcusable. I mean, I saw what he wrote. I don't know if y'all saw the tweets, but I saw a couple of them, and I was just like, yeah, I can see why this is fireable. But
you can understand why they were like, I'll be honest, they probably didn't even want to fire the guy, but they knew if they didn't, it might become even more of a thing. And and imagine if he doesn't get fired and he stays on the show, he might just get harassed even more. And
I
not
feel
just
like
him, but anybody on the show would be caught in the middle of that too.
I feel like might have been a little different story if it was Grant Gustin. But this was just elongated, man. It's like, we can get rid of him.
The star of the show.
It was actually the Flash, and it might be a different conversation, but I mean,
that's a big headline. Star of Flash, insert whatever horrible thing he could possibly say.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. That would have really killed him. It is better that it was a side, technically like a co-star, I'm really upset too because I love Elongated Man, and I think that he did such a great job playing him and adding like a lot of
Yeah.
release to the character. They were just expanding on that arc for that character, so I'm hoping that they keep the character and just maybe recast him.
I think they're talking about recasting because
Okay.
there's.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
she
since
was
they didn't
so
get to
fine
finish
with
the
him.
season,
I was gonna say
they didn't get to finish the season.
his own arc, like his own like story arc. So it's like that's gonna be weird.
Because they didn't get to finish the season, I imagine they were gonna wrap up the whole thing with Sue Dibney towards the end of the season, but it was obviously gonna have to roll over into next season.
Mhm.
And now it's just if you don't recast, that's just gonna fade away or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was like a huge cliffhanger for multiple plots. Since, because of asshole COVID, but you're ruining everything. Literally everything is ruining. But
Yeah.
I like
the
how
ball
they're handling. I like how they're handling the Batwoman thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Instead of
I think
recasting her, just
because the showrunner specifically came out and said she's aware of the bury your gays trope, and she said we will not be killing her off, and she's gonna disappear, and that's gonna be part of the mystery of season 2. So,
Ooh, okay. For
so that's
those in
better.
our audience who don't know what happened, does anyone want to explain kind of what went on behind the scenes that prompted the recasting? Technically not recasting, but the writing off of Ruby Rose's character in Batwoman. Y'all know the story behind it, right? Is that she was in like almost
Yeah, she got an accident. I think it was like earlier in the season. She had this really bad neck injury, and she had to recover. And I mean, I'm guessing it was just a lingering issue. And because it's a neck injury, she's almost paralyzed. And 23 episode seasons, night shoot. She wasn't a fan of that at all. She didn't like Vancouver. So I imagine all of that plus the neck injury just kind of got to her, and she didn't really like the work schedule. So she just
it was probably affecting like her mental and literally physical health. Like, is it worth it to go through all this? I mean, she's the star of the show, so she's expected to be number one on the call sheet, there for everything. So that's a lot of burden to take on. You already feel like crap, so it's like better to just walk away if you can.
Yeah, having a role like Stephen Amell, basically, but a female version is very, very, very physical.
Yeah.
Well, and she almost lost the ability to walk, is what I heard. Is like it was very near. It was a paralysis scare as well as a near fatal accident, is what I heard on the set, and so that really scared her. And I think that can really traumatize you. And at that point, you kind of have to question what you're doing, and whether the cowl is worth it. You know what I mean?
Which is hopefully something they improve on next season as well.
Yeah, like the safety measures. For goodness sake. Oh, you mean the cowl? Oh my god. Yeah, that's true too.
Both.
Like,
why not?
Both. Yeah. We've talked about both of those things.
We did talk about that. Yes.
They can both be part of the solution. Let's fix some things. We got a second season to figure some stuff out.
I think we did talk about too in a previous episode how it's a little bit bulky for us, which I think I weighed in that that's true for me too. I think it's a little bit strange.
I think it just looks awkward with the wig as well.
Yeah,
but it also looked awkward without the wig. So before she got that,
without the wig, to be honest.
The helmet shape seems like a Black Manta disproportionate type of thing.
Like I don't think we've had a costume like that. Like Arrow, he has a hood on.
Right.
Yeah. Flash has like a mask. Supergirl doesn't wear a mask. I think this is the first time we're seeing like a TV version of that.
Yeah. Now we're seeing the complications of a TV bat cowl.
Yeah. I mean, Gotham, that did not look good. I'm sorry.
No. There's a reason they waited to the last episode to even try to do it. I think they kind of knew it. They're like, this is not going to work, but it is the end. He is Batman.
It's funny because DC does like their classic costumes on live action much better than Marvel does, but for some reason they can't get that Bat Cowl to work on TV, like at
Yeah.
all. So
No, not unless you're getting Michael Keaton's and you won't be moving a neck.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, the whole
Yeah.
shoulder turn.
Christian
No.
Bale or Christian Bale.
Yeah. Oh God.
I feel like it needs an update, and I think it needs
Let's not even talk about Christian Bale's awful bat suit. God, that thing. Like, what even is that thing?
Yeah, it didn't seem very easy to maneuver in.
The fact
but
that Ben Affleck could actually move his head made him automatically better suit.
It was like he automatically caught a win on that one. It was like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean-
my head to do action scenes. Okay.
yeah, and it's not very realistic for that to be a suit design. It's like you're literally Bruce Wayne. Like you can have someone design the most perfect combat suit. Why would you not be able to move your head? Like that seems like that'd be like the first thing you'd want to tell them. It's like, make sure that I can move my neck, you know. I want to be able to see things flying at me.
Yeah.
And also, it might be that maybe the Bat Cowl just isn't made for live action.
It's not made for live action.
Maybe
I
just.
think it needs a
It's
it needs a real update.
I mean, it's a staple of Batman. That's who he is. I mean,
Yeah.
you see the silhouette, you see the bat ears. It's just, but that's, you know, comics,
There's a
animation
reason
is
these
great.
characters are comic characters and not.
But-
like,
Yeah.
There's a reason they change costumes to fit the real world. Yeah, I know everybody gets mad, but it's like, well, it's either gonna look really stupid this way, the way
I mean,
you want. I mean, they
like I
did
say-
in Captain America. That was why they put him in that old original suit to show you.
Yeah,
This looks.
that's exactly my issue. Like, DC does the costumes better. The silly costume. I did not expect Momoa's suit to look as good as it did. He's like wearing orange and green,
It somehow
but it
pulled out
did.
somehow.
It somehow knocked it out of the park with that. Shazam, Zachary Levi pulled that off.
To be
Superman
fair,
pulled that
though,
off.
with
That
these,
bodysuit was
I think
sick.
it's also, I was going to say, I think it's also the casting because, I mean, what can Jason Momoa not look masculine in? He looks like weird shit, and he still looks
like
awesome.
he was gonna get a pass on that one. It's like
Yeah.
it's Jason Momoa.
Like, no matter what.
But
We're here for Aquaman, Jason Momoa. Like, all right, you're in.
people complain about the Marvel suits, but I mean, it's like, I don't know what else you want, because for me, I always go back to that first Avengers movie. That Captain America suit was just the worst thing ever.
And there's
Like,
a reason
literally.
they changed it. They realized very quick.
Like, see, this is why you don't go super comic accurate. It looks stupid. If
But
Hawkeye
that
wore
was also,
his,
like, the point they were making with it, I think, with that one, is,
Yeah.
you know, it was supposed to be silly because he's
Yeah.
from that
There's a
era.
reason why things
like
changed.
if
my
Hawkeye wore his comic accurate suit, he would look stupid. If
He
the
would be a
Falcon,
purple Wolverine.
if
That's
the
what he would
Falcon
be.
wore his suit, that would look stupid. I mean, it's just how it is.
It
You
really,
know.
you could keep going, like, any of them just about
So
would
they're
look
mili-
really dumb.
their military style suits
Yeah.
are, you know, is fitting for that setting. I feel like
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have a.
I think-
There's a weird tangent to go on, but after rewatching Civil War and Winter Soldier, I'm like, can the Russo brothers do G.I. Joe? Like, seem you know. I would like a G.I. Joe movie with like that style, that like the way they handle political mixed with action and humor. I was like, they could make it work. But
Mhm.
that was a weird tangent that just went through my head. Sorry.
No, you're good. Tangents are always welcome. Well, let's see. I do want to talk about Shyler Leigh coming out, or Shyler Lee. I don't know how she pronounces that, but
I think Kyler. I think.
Kyler. Okay, thank you.
I
Kyler
think. I
Lee,
think.
Leigh, something. She's
I'm not
on
entirely sure.
Supergirl. She plays her sister. I'm very proud of her that she came out. That's really awesome for her. And it's, you know, I do want to just say, you know, real quick before my phone dies and we have to finish and we have to kind of wrap up. So we only have like a little bit, but I did want to just go ahead and say real quick that, you know, we support her and she seems like such a sweetie. And so glad that, you know, she was able to do that during Pride Month. That's really cool. Did you guys have any final thoughts before I go ahead and give us a little outro to sign off on? So
I think we're good.
It's really not hard. Just stop. Don't be dicks to people. You know.
Yes.
Let people be
I
who
think
they
that's
are.
always a great
Really,
final thought.
what it comes down to is like stop harassing people for being, you know.
Yes,
Put yourself in somebody else's situation.
absolutely.
Really not
Amen.
hard.
All right, then on that note, which I love that, let's go ahead and sign on out. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like our videos, or just please leave a like. That really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you'd like to become knighted in our medieval army, you're welcome to click that subscribe button and you will be automatically knighted. I can't necessarily promise that you'll be a paladin, but work your way up. You're almost there already. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys next time. Bye.